What up, man? It's about that time. Welcome to another episode of I Hate the Homies, and we glad that you do. Rock Teasies, who I be, episode number 84.
All right, Rock, it's your boy Griff, a.k.a. Griffstradamus, a.k.a. Jason the Jet Terry, a.k.a. Go Blue for Life. How about that? And I think of episode 84. I'm thinking of Randy Moss, Hall of Famer, and Hall of Famer Shannon Sharp, who broke the internet and probably ain't make no bread off of it. And I hate the homies.
All them AKAs. Does he want to be AK? Do you want to be AK, man?
You want that pink and green, dog?
I mean, God, dog, how many AKAs? Yeah, I agree with you. 84, Randy Moss, that's all good. Shannon Sharp. Yeah. And he did break the internet with Cat Williams.
And he got paid.
He got paid
a huge check from YouTube.
And this is your boy Super Dave. But guess what, y'all?
We don't care. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to tell you what we do care about. We talk about the NFL playoffs. Yes, sir. We're going to recap the games from last week. Then we're going to talk about and give you our predictions of the games this week. And you already know why I'm excited. I ain't even going to go into it yet. Y'all know what time it is. Detroit forever. Detroit forever. What up, though? I'm sorry. I couldn't hold it in, dog.
I think that was a man law violation.
Oh, man, yeah. We're going to also talk about some NBA action, man. We're going to talk about CeeDee Lamb, mama.
We got to get into that. This Dallas soap opera just getting better and better, man.
Right.
God.
So we're going to see if we can get to all this, man. So let's get it popping. Ray Duggar, let's get it going.
You done messed up, Aaron. Yeah, huh? I've been geeking for this broadcast. Got me in my bag, cause all they do is talk a lot of trash. Wait until I see them face to face off of this podcast. What you gotta say now? Check the facts, don't have the wrong stat. Rock T, he a genius as a sport, make Ricky smile, boy. Super Davey Harley come up short on like it's Cowboys. Always controversial, Griff call out plays, no rehearsal. Got me talking all in circles. I hate the homies. And Griff be laughing like it's funny. But they never bet no money. They my mans, but they throw me. I hate the homies.
All right, so let's start off with the game that kicked the weekend off last week. Baltimore Ravens beating the Houston Texans. And I'll go ahead and go first. You know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and jump into this, man. This is one that, of course, I picked. You picked Baltimore. I think we all picked Baltimore to win this one,
Houston.
Right? You picked Houston?
I picked Houston.
Okay. Well, listen, go ahead and give Lamar Jackson the MVP. I think we all agree on that right there. C.J. Stroud, listen, dude got a huge future. Houston Texans, they are in good hands with C.J. Stroud. So I like what they got going on, D'Amico Ryan and all the whole nine, man. So, but listen, the Ravens is for real. Go ahead and put them in the Super Bowl to represent the AFC. They will beat the Kansas City Chiefs, but we'll get into that later on in a doggone episode. There's really not much to say, man. It is what it is. Baltimore handled their business. It was closer than I thought it was going to be, but hey, it is what it is. Griff, what you think?
Look, man, y'all know we always rooting for Houston. We was happy for C.J. Stroud. We know he'll most likely be Rookie of the Year. Love the coach. I wouldn't mind if the coach got Rookie of the Year too. That defense was doing something special. But the Baltimore Ravens acted like midnight to they Cinderella. Now, who don't understand that? You know what happened to Cinderella at midnight? She went back to regular. Her stepsisters hated on her, and you understand me? Did you walk around with one shoe? Well, right now, C.J. Stroud got one glass slipper, and he ain't going to be able to turn it in till next year. I'm a fan of the Texans. I'm excited for that fan base in Houston. Shout out to Praise Houston while I'm talking about it, AV. But Baltimore was too much. It was too much Baltimore. It was too much Lamar. Lamar's playing focus. He not saying nothing. Harbaugh got them boys together, and it's only one goal. That's it. So shout out to Baltimore. And really, shout out to Houston and making it this far. And we thought that would be maybe what Detroit would do, but we'll talk about them in a minute. But shout out to Houston. But the Ravens are legit.
For sure.
You know what? I picked Houston, and we talked about that. But I think the one thing is, after watching that game, the game was close for 3 quarters.
Yes, sir.
So let's not disregard that. The problem was Houston didn't have enough offense. And that's where you can say that they're maybe maybe 2 to 3 players away from being in the mix over the next 2 or 3 years to really be in contention on winning a championship or winning a Super Bowl. But right now, you could see where they couldn't do anything out there. Plus, you were playing outside. They're a dome team, and it was cold in Baltimore. So I'm not taking anything away from Baltimore. Baltimore has a top-rated defense. I still believe, when I look at Lamar Jackson, yeah, he will be the MVP. He had, 4 touchdowns in the game, 2 rushing,
and
2 passing.
Yes, sir.
100 yards rushing. It's his coming out party, but I think he's in the same position that we put Steve Young back in the day. Even Tony Romo, and I'm speaking of the Cowboys, and Dak, even right now, is showing what you can do about getting to a championship.
Right.
Not the AFC Championship game. It's about going to a Super Bowl. Because you could, if he wins 2 MVPs, which this will be his second one.
Right.
What are we judging him on?
I mean,
because most MVPs have that maybe 1 Super Bowl in their back pocket to say, hey, this what else? I done this I did the MVPs, but I also got the Super Bowl with the team, and we all put it together to win the championship. And I think that's the one thing. It's pressure. And no matter what we say about the first 3 quarters of that game, I still saw Lamar feel a little bit of pressure.
Well, pressure is a privilege. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I don't think it's pressure. I think it's just, look, sometimes the other team is playing. Sometimes they good, too. Sometimes the opponent steps up and play on that given day.
I like D'Amico Ryan, too.
Oh, yeah, he cold. He ain't afraid. Man, listen, man. You got grown men out there on the field, regardless on the overall records, regardless on who the quarterbacks and all that. Sometimes the other team is like, I ain't afraid of you, and I'm right here in your face, and I'm going to be right here all night long, and that's what the Houston Texans did.
And they had a shot, too. I think right before the half, they had a chance to go up 13. They had to go up. They had a chance to go up 3 points, but they missed the field goal.
Right.
And that could have changed the game because you got to have a little bit of confidence because your offense couldn't put the ball in the end zone against that defense for the Baltimore Ravens. But you had to have some confidence knowing that at least our offense can give us points because the 1 touchdown came on special teams for the Houston Texans on the punt return.
Right.
But I still like Houston. I think in the next 2 or 3 years, they're doing something Dallas couldn't do. They won a playoff game. I mean, that's the one thing I can't argue with that.
They're the kings of Texas as of right now.
Right now, they really are. But Baltimore is strong. We'll get into the game between them and Kansas City, but I'm not saying Super Bowl yet.
Okay, well, stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. Let's move on over to the 49ers, squeaking past the Green Bay Packers. Now, this was the shocker right here. Like, yes, we all seen what Green Bay did last week to the Dallas Cowboys. We all seen and been witnessing what Jordan Love has been doing the last 6 to 8 weeks of the season.
And we all thought, truthfully, after them playing the Cowboys, that
was the end of the fairy tale.
Yeah, we all thought that.
Yeah,
okay, as long as we're on the same page.
We thought the 49ers was going to blast them. Like, listen, I'm like, man, why even show up? It was fun while it lasted. But, once again, grown man on the other side of the ball saying, don't get it twisted, and we ain't afraid of y'all. And then when Debo went down, I was like, okay, well, they just made it a little bit more easier. But still, I mean, I was shocked that Green Bay was able to play with the 49ers for 4 quarters like that. So, but 49ers found a way to win the game, and now the end of their fairy tale will be happening this week. Okay, but we'll get into that in a few minutes. Okay. Griff, your thoughts, sir?
Ooh, that fairy Niner game against Green Bay, that was not. Listen, Jordan Love did a great job. Green Bay, listen, I know a L is an L, and that's what everybody's gonna say. But man, when you lose, 24-21, you be sick all year. They gonna be sick till September. How you? And kudos to Green Bay, just like kudos to Houston. Nobody expected y'all to make it there, but you did get there, and you got there, and Christian McCaffrey happened. You understand me?
Right.
White chocolate.
He woke up
on the running back. Nobody seen that happening. Nobody seen that coming. So I don't know. San Francisco can't play that way. San Francisco cannot play the same way they played against Green Bay going into the NFC Championships. I got a lot of 49er fans in my family who I know, who I grew up with. They're going crazy in the yay. But Green Bay just fell a little bit short.
Period.
I think the funny part for the 49ers, if they played that same game against the Cowboys the week before, because Purdy was off. When Debo went out,
his rhythm was off a little bit.
His rhythm was off. It was raining. I know they said he had small hands and he has a problem holding on to the ball. And throwing the ball with the small hands and wet weather. But something Cam Newton said on his podcast a few weeks ago about Dak and Purdy, he's putting all these guys as game managers. You kind of understand what he was saying during that time now. Because everything has to be perfect, almost perfect for Purdy. I mean, he's a seventh-round pick. He was the last pick in the draft.
Okay.
But everything has to be perfect for him to win. It's not taking anything away from him.
Right.
He can't elevate players. Like, we look at Aaron Rodgers, Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen. They elevate their players. They can lose guys to still go to another level. When I saw that game against Purdy, and once Debo went out, because the two best players on that team is who? McCaffrey and Debo.
Mm-hmm. On the offense, yeah.
And when Debo went out, and we saw this during the regular season,
right.
When they lost Trent Williams? Trent Williams, the offensive lineman.
Yeah, absolutely.
They lost him.
Yep.
They lost McCaffrey, and they lost Debo. They were a whole different team. They lost 3 games in a row.
Right.
He couldn't elevate them. Now, the one thing he did prove to me, and the one thing this Kyle Shanahan has been a thorn in his side since he's been with the 49ers, if they're trailing in the fourth quarter 7 points or more, he was 0-30. Kyle Shanahan as a head coach.
Okay,
period.
yeah. Okay.
He was 0-30, trailing in the fourth quarter 7 points or more. Now he's 1-30.
Yeah, he got that first one off his back.
He got that first one out the way. And I think
that's an interesting stat.
I know.
Wow.
And the biggest thing was seeing Purdy on that last drive, because it took him to drive down the field. He went 6 or 7 from the field, 47 yards, got him the touchdown.
Okay, so
the touchdown they needed. I mean, that was big.
So you can stop right there, bro, because he's got it in his DNA that.
But that was a big question before that drive.
Yeah.
Because what we saw with Cleveland against Minnesota, the 3 games they lost, people were starting to question this guy.
But he didn't have some of his weapons. Now, I get it. You mentioned people like Kansas City, but even Kansas City, even Patrick Mahomes this year, when he lost, look, we all know what the Chiefs have lost over the last couple of years with their weapons that they have had on the offensive side of the ball.
Especially Tyreek Hill.
Especially Tyreek Hill. You know, Hardeman, even though Hardeman is back, he's not the same. He's not the same from when he was there the first time.
Yeah.
So a lot of drop passes. So they lost a lot of games that they probably should have won, whatever, in the regular season.
But he was giving that game away. I'm telling you, it was plays out in the field. Green Bay really should have had a bigger lead in that game, really, because you had the pick six early. It could have been a pick six early like he did against the Cowboys in the first half.
Yeah.
And the same guy,
Green
Walker.
Bay,
Green Bay, the same guy that caught the pick six against Dak, dropped it against Purdy.
Green Bay could have won that game.
They could have easily won that game because the 49ers, their defense kept them in.
They actually should have won that game.
They actually should have won that game.
Let's change the word. They should have won that doggone game.
They should have won that game. But I'm telling you this, you better watch out for Jordan Love. And they're in your division.
Oh, yeah.
They're young.
But we ain't worried.
Okay.
Man, come on.
That's the cockiness right there. I mean, I'm going to get to Detroit. Hold on. But I will say this about
what?
I need that same Jordan Love because he threw 2 picks in this game. And the last pick on that final drive to get in a position to score, to either get a field goal to tie the game or to get a win, what happened? He threw the interception into triple coverage.
Yeah.
I've seen that Jordan Love before.
Yeah, that's the one that panicked.
Yes.
That version is the one that says, oh, we got to win. We got to get this. We got to have. So it's like, just stay cool. Stay calm. Let the game continue to come to you. And don't ever panic. Don't let the clock make you panic. Don't let certain coverages make you panic. Just let the game come to you. If he stays in that mode, man, he's going to have an amazing career.
But he was stellar out there. I'm really interested. I'm not a Packer fan, period. But just to see how this guy's progressed from the beginning. I'm talking about Jordan Love from the beginning of the season.
Yeah, the way he is now.
Yeah, totally different player. You look at the stats from Aaron Rodgers' first year as a starter: 4,000 yards, 28 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Missed the playoffs. Jordan Love's first year, playoffs, and that's number one.
Right.
Got a playoff win against Dallas.
Got the win.
4,100 yards, 32 touchdowns, 11 interceptions.
That's pretty solid.
That's nasty, man.
I'm curious to see what Brett Favre's first year was.
Yeah.
Because I knew Brett threw a lot of interceptions early in his career.
Yeah.
But that right there alone. Now, the game has changed a little bit. It's all pass heavy now. And even though it's pass heavy, with Aaron Rodgers and, everything started morphing. But even now, quarterbacks now, man, they're throwing – shoot, somebody threw for 5,000, 6,000. Did someone get 6,000 yet?
Yeah, somebody got.
I know we got 5,000 last
because you've seen Patrick Mahomes do that.
Yeah, but
Tom Brady.
But it's 6,000's on the way.
6,000 coming the way the teams are, the way the league is right now. As far as they don't want to see no defense.
We would never ever see. I'll put this on everything right now. There will never ever be another 2,000-yard rusher.
And don't you think that one person was bitter watching this game? Who's that one person? Aaron Rodgers. Because he wanted out. He wanted out of Green Bay. He didn't really mix with Matt LaFleur.
Right.
But then now Matt LaFleur, with a young guy like Jordan Love, he's becoming a coach. And I saw what he did against the Cowboys. They had a perfect game plan. And they had a game plan to win this game. It was there for them, but they better go get a kicker, because that was the other thing that cost them this game too.
Yeah.
The kicker.
But back to the Aaron Rodgers situation, I'm not so sure if he really mad, because if he didn't get hurt, the Jets would be in the conversation, bro.
But that's your team. You won a championship. I
get it.
You get a little bit jealous. You don't want to see them succeed, right?
I mean, I like seeing people succeed. I can't speak.
I know
for
you
Aaron.
are. You positive. But I mean, we're talking about guys like me.
But if Aaron, it's a good point. If Aaron didn't get hurt, man, I still believe that the Jets would be in the conversation right now, representing that, in the AFC.
In the AFC?
Yes.
Look how tough the AFC it was this year.
They would have knocked off the Bills.
The Bills and the Dolphins?
Man, the doggone, listen. When you lose your quarterback, and the Jets, when they and I know we a little bit off subject just a little bit, but just think about this. When Aaron went down, the air deflated from the entire stadium, the entire state, the green part of the state.
You invested everything in Aaron Rodgers.
It's like, but the Jets still, the first half of the season, they were still playing. They were still staying in games. They were, they was giving themselves a chance to win games the first half of the season with their backup quarterback. So just imagine if Aaron was there. Man, they would have won probably 90% of those games. You know what I'm saying? Then they finally just say, you know what?
I just don't see them being there. The AFC was tough. The AFC, I mean, the way Buffalo came on at the end, I mean, that was big. But then, like I said, Miami was doing their thing. You still had who else in the AFC? Kansas City.
You got the Ravens.
And the Ravens.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, I just get. And then you got a Houston. Yeah. Out of nowhere.
Yeah, I still think Aaron would have made a big difference.
So you think
Houston
would have been better than the Jets if Aaron Rodgers played?
No, the Jets would have been better than Houston.
You think Jets would have been better than Houston?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And Houston probably wouldn't have gotten to the playoffs. The Jets would have had that spot. That's just my opinion. It is what it is.
He had no offensive line either. That was the big part. Remember that?
Well, that was
the big part.
Yeah, because what's his name did get sacked a lot throughout the season.
Yes, okay then.
Well,
you better rethink that.
We'll pause that conversation until next year.
Okay.
Let's move on over to the game of the weekend. And
my wife said after watching and listening to you last week, she can't stand you especially with Detroit.
Come on,
she
man.
She loves you for everything else, but you get too overhyped for this Detroit thing.
Tell you something, man, because this is real. This is not a fluke. I know some people was like, oh, yeah, Detroit, they're going to lose and blah, blah, blah. This is Dan Campbell. Let me tell you why Detroit is such a good team.
I like Dan Campbell.
We already got some good players. We're already a solid team. Jared Goff was written off. Even in his own head.
He was a castaway.
Jared Goff written off his own self.
He was a castaway. Nobody wanted him.
He knew he was at the end, like, all right, this is going to be it. I'm probably going to be wind up in Canadian Football League or XFL or something. You know, he probably was contemplating retiring early or whatever or trying to get up out of Detroit before Dan Campbell came. Dan Campbell said, bro, I want you. This is where I always preach to people about your coach, a real good coach that knows how to get to the psyche of your players and get the best out of your players. This is what Dan Campbell is. He said, I don't want to bring in another quarterback. I want you. You are my Tom Brady. He's got Jared Goff believing that he is just as good as Tom Brady or better. And that's why Jared Goff is coming into these games with confidence like, yo, I can still play because my coach believes in me.
What they go, 3-13-1 in that first year with Goff and Dan Campbell?
Yeah.
I think it was 3-13-1.
Then they barely, I think there was one game under 500 the next year. Or they might have finished 500. It was one of the two.
That's when they beat Green Bay to knock Green Bay out the playoffs. That was last year. Remember toward the end of the season?
This is Campbell's third year.
This is third year?
This is third year.
Okay.
It's not his fourth year. This is year number 3, yeah.
So that was last year when they knocked out Green Bay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So Detroit's for real, man. And we got Jahmyr Gibbs. By the way, Campbell, can you please keep Jahmyr on the field more often? You got to play Jahmyr Gibbs more because when he's on the field, the defense has nothing. That's one less thing that they got to worry about. I mean, that's one more thing they got to worry about.
Did you see that stiff arm he
gave? Oh, man.
Going to the end zone.
I mean, I get it. It's part of strategy. But, man, when Jahmyr Gibbs is on the field, that's one more thing that the defense got to worry about. So, listen, we ain't just happy to be here. We ain't one of them Detroit teams that say, man, whew, we just glad to be in the playoffs. This is our Super Bowl. No. We going to handle the 49ers. I don't know if you want me to go into the picks yet, but
no, he ain't going to
okay.
picks.
So Griff, go ahead, Griff.
I'm gonna dog you out.
Listen, I'm gonna pause right there and wait before we start predicting. But Griff, you take it from here, dog.
The D. What up, though? Detroit. Hey, man, Rock. Let me tell you something, man. You could feel the energy of the Detroit Lions through your television. You could feel the fans. You could the cameras was shaking. It was so intense in there, dog. It was so intense in there, and I was laughing because the commentators were saying stuff like, "It's crazy in this dome." When the Lions are on the field, you can hear a cockroach sneeze, but when they not, the whole place is trembling like it's bananas, man. Let me tell you something. Baker Mayfield, remember last year in the NFC Championship and they started that fourth string black dude from the 49ers? Remember how big his eyes was every play? He just looked like, remember Fear the Dog cartoon? That's how Baker Mayfield looked like, Fear the Dog. Detroit, Rock, Detroit, not just one playoff win, not just 2 playoff wins. What can Detroit do? Come on, man. I'm happy for the whole town. Better made chips on me.
Come on. Yes, sir.
I mean, this is a love fest for Detroit.
You know about the better made chips, man. Come on, dog. Yes.
Y'all act like y'all won a championship. Okay,
sure, we about to win. Games. We about to win the NFC Championship.
We'll get into that. I mean, the game. You got to admit, you sat there. I know you watched this game. This game was close for 3 quarters.
It don't matter.
But you gonna bring that up?
It don't matter.
Okay, all right.
It don't matter.
All right.
We in the playoffs. we ain't got to worry about all the ticky tack. Well, if this would have happened, you would have lost. If this would have happened, you would have won. If this would have happened, blah, blah, blah. Man, who won the game? Wins and losses. Don't you say this all the time? It's all about who won. I don't care if who won by a tenth of a doggone
you
point.
You throw that in my face,
man. Shoot.
I'm just saying. I'm saying Tampa Bay had plays out there to be made. Look at the first drive for Detroit, when they were throwing the ball in the end zone. That should have been an interception. It should have been a pick. You got to catch the ball.
Hey.
On Mike Evans' interception, The ball was thrown right. He's a Hall of Famer receiver.
You know why he dropped that ball? He thought he was about to get lit up across the middle. That's part of intimidation, which is part of the game of the roaring lion defense. That's all that is.
Okay.
He had alligator arms. Like, oh, I don't want to get hit. That's why he dropped the ball. Let's keep it real. Go ahead and continue.
And the biggest part of this, I don't blame that interception on Baker Mayfield. It's going to count against him. But the one at the end of the game, where you got to loft the ball a little bit higher, because they were going in for the tie.
Right.
Now, I didn't understand this from Todd Bowles. When they scored that touchdown to only be down by 7 points.
Right.
And he went for the 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
Why would you do it there? And I'm getting tired of the analytics and all this stuff about.
That's why they did it, which is bull crap. I don't like it either. I don't like them numbers either. The stats and analytics, like.
Don't you think that's dumb? You go for the sure points.
Right.
Give me 7, because then if we get the ball back, we stop you guys. We get the ball back. Mm-hmm. Now we're only down by 7 points.
Yes, sir.
I'm not stressing out trying to see if I can get that 2-point conversion.
We at least try to get to overtime.
Oh, God. I just didn't understand that, Todd. I just didn't.
But when he did that, I'm like,
I know you did.
Go ahead and go for it.
I know you
Go
did.
ahead.
I'm like, don't take the points off the board. Don't do that, man. Go for the extra point. Only be down by 7.
Yes, sir.
But the game was close. And I'm gonna give Detroit this right here. I'm gonna give y'all the credit for, because this happened in the Rams game the week before and this week.
Mm-hmm.
When they go out and score, because they did this against the Rams, they had 3 straight touchdowns against the Rams.
Yes, sir.
At one point.
Yes, sir.
And they had 3 straight touchdowns.
We get the ball up and down the field now.
But I'm saying this happened in the third and fourth quarter against Tampa. Mm-hmm. 3 straight touchdowns against Tampa. They really put that game away. I mean, Tampa still had a shot to tie the game, but I like the way the Lions go on the run. I like Dan Campbell. I do. He's old school.
Come on, dog.
So I'm not going to sit up here and argue with that. He reminds me of the Sean Payton, the Bill Parcells, all those guys.
He ride for his players. Win or lose.
Because he was a player. He was a player.
Mistake. Man, I love when players make a mistake and he pull them over and say, man, you good? Come on, let's go. Shake out of it. Let's go. Show me, he don't just punish him. It ain't about, man, you come on over here and you sit down and you think about what you just did. He's like, man, you good. Play through it. Let's go. We need you out there.
And the one thing I do like, and I ain't part of y'all love fest that you and Griff doing right now for Detroit. But I do like Dan Campbell. I like when the Rams let Jared Goff go.
Right.
After going to the Super Bowl, losing to the New England Patriots because the offense couldn't do anything. To me, that was on McVay, too. You couldn't do anything against that New England's defense that at the particular time. You got rid of Jared because y'all didn't think y'all could win a championship with him. Nobody wanted this guy.
Yeah.
But Dan Campbell said,
you're my guy.
You're my guy.
Let's go.
We want you.
Win or lose,
that's all that matters.
We going to war with you.
I respect that.
Come on, dog.
I do. I really do.
We finna shock the world, man. I mean, listen, and I picked the 49ers to get to the Super Bowl. So I took my fan hat, my Detroit super fan hat off, and I put my sports genius hat on and said, you know what? At the end of the day, the 49ers, well, you know what?
Yeah, save it.
Let me save it.
I can't believe
Let me save it. Let's get to the Buffalo Bills. They fell short again, man. They just
You want to see how he starts? Because I don't know how he starts here. I didn't hear this one.
I think I did. I think I remember right.
Okay.
It's the same kind of situation. Okay. So yeah, Griff, clean this part up. All right, so let's go ahead and finish talking about what the Buffalo Bills did. They failed again. They fall short again. The Bills got some kind of curse on them.
I mean, Kansas City. Oh, you're talking about
the Bills.
Yeah.
Because you finally get Patrick Mahomes on the road.
That's what you wanted.
That's what you wanted.
He said that's what y'all wanted. He said it.
You get what you want. You one of the hottest teams in the league right now because Buffalo did pick it up going into the playoffs. They was hot. In my opinion, you still got probably third best quarterback in the league. You know what I'm saying? You got Patrick, you got Lamar Jackson. You got to start putting Josh Allen right there right after that. Mm-hmm. And you had the game won. And I get it. Yeah, you missed the field goal. Field goal could have probably put it in overtime, depending on what Patrick would have done after that. I get all that. But the game shouldn't have even been that close. Like, I think the Bills should have been up at least by 13 points, going into the last, midway through the fourth quarter.
But this is the kind of games they play.
Come on, man.
I understand what you're saying, but
this is it. I don't see your boy coming back. I don't see Diggs coming back.
So you're talking about
is this Diggs last year? He got one more year in his contract.
He got one more year.
He got one more.
We'll get into Diggs in a minute.
He gonna probably hold out. He gonna probably say, "Listen, go ahead and just trade me."
We're gonna get into him because
he gonna probably request a trade, like for real, like. But hey, there's nothing to say, man. The Bills did what they had to do. Griff, you know what you got to say about it.
The Bills let down the whole world, man. That's all I'm gonna say. The Bills let down the whole world. You at home, you get to beat your Goliath. Ain't nobody read that story before. Ain't no book where David lost. You wouldn't even read it. You wouldn't go to church if you found out David lost. David and Goliath beat the hell out of David. Like nobody wanna hear that story, man. So, man, and of course everybody gonna say the spirit of Scott Norwood, the kicker who missed in the 90s, who still can't go nowhere. He actually has an amazing 30 for 30 special. But I blame it on Josh, man. I blame it on Josh. Josh, he could have did some more check downs. He could have. Nah, we're not going to blame this one on the kicker, Josh. You was supposed to score, dog. You wasn't supposed to tie it up. You wasn't supposed to go into overtime. Or you supposed to score. You at the home. You at the house. Superman don't kind of win. So now that we talking about it, Patrick Mahomes is Josh Allen's kryptonite. I'm going to go ahead and say it out loud. I don't hate the Chiefs. I do loathe that Patrick Mahomes is in my division. But like y'all said, man, I've been telling y'all for years, we got Mahomes problems, and the Bills do too. Ain't no rivalry.
I can't even disagree with that, Griff. You know, Josh has got Patrick Mahomes in his head. Like, it is. You just described it the best way, that kryptonite. There it is.
I'm going to give you this fun fact about the Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. How did the Kansas City Chiefs get Patrick Mahomes? They got him in 2017. They made a trade with who? The Bills, to move up to the 10th spot.
Oh, so the Bills would have had Patrick.
They moved up to the 10th spot. Well, they already had Josh Allen. So, but you helped out the Kansas City Chiefs by having them move up to get Patrick Mahomes. And the Bills received the 27th overall pick, the 3rd round pick, the 91st overall, and 2018, and the 1st round pick in 2018.
Right. Okay. Okay.
But that's your kryptonite. You're the cause. You're the curse. What you said a while ago about the Bills being their own curse, yeah, you helped them get Patrick Mahomes. And to me, this is one of the better games of the day. Yeah. It really was. I like when these two teams meet. Even though in the regular season, Josh Allen, he's 3-1 against Patrick Mahomes. 3-1.
But in the playoffs?
What is he?
Come on,
0-3.
Come on, man.
That's when it matters, right?
And no disrespect to Josh. He's still one of the best.
Oh, I like him.
The dude is a dog. Like, he's a unicorn when it comes to playing that quarterback position. But, hey, you can't get Patrick Mahomes out your head. He is your biat.
But see, and people want to say, what do they need? Okay, it's not about what they need. I think they have the players right now. It's about making plays.
Yeah, you got to make
a lot of plays on the field. Kansas City, we've been dogging them out all year because you got guys dropping passes. You didn't really see Kelsey play really much great. I mean, he didn't play great this year.
The whole second half of the season, Kelsey disappeared.
Exactly. But what happened when the lights are on? When it really mattered? They showed up. It wasn't no drop passes in this game against Buffalo. That was the big key. Mm-hmm. Kelsey did show up. 2 touchdowns for Kelsey, 75 yards in this game.
Yeah, but I want the Kelsey with the touchdown celebration dances. I need that Kelsey back.
Well, he's with Taylor Swift.
I get it, man.
Now.
He give Taylor Swift a little "I love you" hearts. Okay,
he's
cool.
He's in love now.
Do that after you hit the Quan.
When he's with the sister, he do that.
Hit the Quan first. Do the dances first. Then you can do the little heart thing. Come on, Kelsey.
No, he do that with the sister.
Come
when
on.
He's with the sister, he didn't give her the heart, did he?
Travis Kelsey, come on, man. Touchdown dance, man. That's the version we want.
And it's about making plays, but remember this. McDermott, the head coach for Buffalo, what happened in the fourth quarter when it's 4th down and 5 on your own, inside your own 30? What happened?
Oh, man.
The fake punt?
Yeah, but you see, there's a reason why he did that.
I understand
that. The other team had 10 players on the field.
Because Jim Nantz and Tony Romo pointed out there was 10 players on the field.
So it's like, hey, man, we got 11, you got 10. Somebody going to be...
But that's the play you pick. when everybody's bunched up already in the middle with it.
I don't think they planned to do a fake punt. But I think when they noticed it on the fly that, they only got 10 players, then they called an audible. So if they would have planned like a legitimate, hey, we're going to fake punt this bad boy from the start, it would have been a better result.
Now, that was countered by what happened because I thought the game was going to be over right then and there. You get the ball to the Kansas City Chiefs at your 30. Mm-hmm. They drove the ball down the field, got it inside the 5. And I hate when people do is just get the ball to Pacheco. Yeah. Please. Come on. Why do you want to get fancy down here?
Yeah, Pacheco's a dog, bro.
He's a dog. He runs like, you see these guys, these kids stealing stuff.
He runs like he don't care.
Well, that's it.
He can care less about concussions.
Yeah.
He can care like, I want you to hit me. He ain't trying to go down early. He wants to hit.
But you try to do, and I hate this with coaches. They try to be smarter than what they are when you should just hand the ball off.
Right.
You did that little sweep to the outside. Homeboy tried to reach over, score a touchdown, got the ball knocked out, ended up being a touchback in the end zone. So that made the game even closer then because that could have put the game away.
Right.
But then on that next drive for Buffalo, and that's where I get into Diggs, what happened with Diggs? We talk about Diggs, what happened last year when he wasn't getting the ball against Cincinnati in the playoffs. Josh threw a perfect ball to him downfield.
Touchdown. Dropped it.
Dropped it.
Dropped it. I mean, right there, and it hit him in the pads right here. Dropped it.
You a receiver. You have one job is
catch
to do
the ball.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear anything about Josh Allen and all this kind of stuff. No, you had your shot.
You preach.
That's the game winner.
Well, I'm with you when you're right.
That's a game winner because on that same drive, what happens later on, Josh Allen fumble.
Right.
Boy, the football guys were looking out for them. He fumbled.
Yep.
Kansas City didn't want to jump on the ball.
They got it back.
Buffalo got the ball back, moved into field goal range, and this is the killer. This is your home stadium, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know the wind is blowing, right?
Right.
You're throwing the ball to the end zone, which is fine, but you know it's third down. What do most coaches do? You check off, get you about 5-6 more yards, get them close as you can to try to tie this game.
Absolutely.
And he didn't do that.
Yep.
And you get what you deserve at the end.
You could have won a screen, draw.
Just to get a few yards and get them closer.
A flare, swing the back out the backfield.
You know the wind is blowing,
Absolutely.
but they didn't do it.
Yep.
But then what happens? Wide right. Something they're used to.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we normally see with the Buffalo Bills. So I don't feel sorry from that sense, but it was a tough loss.
Look, as long as you got Josh Allen, you got a chance to always have winning seasons. But I think this is the
This is the best shot.
This is the start of the downfall of the Buffalo Bills. Like they still may make the playoffs this year.
Everybody has
a
window. Everybody has a window, and that window's starting to close.
Exactly. I don't see them going deep in the playoffs next year if they do make it. If they make it.
Okay.
But let's get into what's happening this week. That's the pass. We spent enough time talking about the pass. Go ahead. Which games you want to talk about first? There's only a couple of them.
And I hate that too.
There's only a couple of them.
The first game of the day is the AFC Championship game.
Okay. So we got the Ravens.
The Kansas City Chiefs at the Ravens.
And they're going to Baltimore. So there's no more Patrick Mahomes on the road. He just proved that I can go to a hostile environment and win. Mm-hmm. Listen, man, there's nothing in the way, not even Patrick Mahomes, of Lamar Jackson getting to the Super Bowl. Okay. The dude is on a whole nother mindset right now. He's like, look, y'all didn't want to pay me, so I sat out. Y'all see what happens without me on the field. Then he comes back after he gets his check and puts up MVP numbers, which he should get.
With no agent.
All
the money is him and his mama.
I love it. Love it. Take notes. Because he understood his value, and he proved it this year.
And this is one last note. Guess how much he's making this year, salary-wise?
What?
$80 million. Guess how much Purdy's making for the San Francisco 49ers?
What?
$870,000.
But he's got his coming.
Purdy's got his coming. Look at the difference.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah, he's still playing through his little rookie contract. He got his coming.
Yeah, he got his coming.
But back to Lamar, man. Listen, the Ravens, they got their little old game out the way from sitting out a couple of weeks. They worked out the little kinks and all that kind of stuff. Man, they finna roll. And I don't think it's gonna be that close of a game. Like we're going to get the Kansas City Chiefs that we've seen play most of the year this year. Like the middle part of the year when they was kind of like they ain't the same. That's the version of Kansas City Chiefs we're going to get this week. And I think Ravens going to beat them by a couple touchdowns. I said it.
I'm making my prediction now. So you going with
Ravens.
The Ravens.
They're gonna win by a couple touchdowns.
I like the Ravens defense.
Come on, man.
I know you got the MVP. It hadn't been given to him yet, but he's going to get the MVP. So 2-time MVP, Lamar Jackson. But I'm telling you right now, after what I saw against Buffalo, Kansas City finds a way to win because they got him. Who is him? Patrick Mahomes. And to me, that's all that matters right now. Who's the better quarterback between those two? Don't go by the numbers. I'm just saying if you're a GM right now and you had to make a decision on Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson, who would you pick right now?
Right now?
Right now. Truthfully. Yeah.
Let me ponder on that for a second. Right now?
Right
now.
Right now.
I mean, listen. It's hard to go against Patrick Mahomes because they both in their prime.
Okay. That's why I'm asking
But right
question.
now, I think Lamar Jackson is playing better quarterback. I think he's playing better than Patrick Mahomes right now. So right now, I'm taking Lamar. Like right now, overall, if you say, okay, this is going to be your franchise quarterback for the next, 8 to 10 years, I'm going with Patrick. But for right now, I got Lamar.
I think the amazing part for the Kansas City Chiefs, 6 straight AFC Championship games.
That's amazing, bro.
2 championships.
Flip a coin, man.
I know you can flip a coin. I'm going Patrick Mahomes. He's him. From what I seen last week against Buffalo, guys finally catching passes. The lights are bright now. They know they're 2 games away from winning the championship. I think they'll be ready, and I think they're going to knock off the Ravens. Not think. They will knock off the Ravens.
Okay, we're going to find out. Let's get to the real game. let's get ready to wrap this up and get to the real game.
I know you couldn't wait. Go ahead.
Detroit going out to the West Coast, the sunshine, baby. Taking on them 49ers. Look, I'm going to be the first to say.
Weather's good.
The weather's going to be great.
Okay, no rain.
And I have 49ers in the Super Bowl. On paper, the 49ers are a better team than my Detroit Lions. On paper, they're a better team, especially when they're healthy. We don't know if Deebo Samuel is going to be playing. They're saying he's 50-50.
Yeah, 50-50.
But even if Deebo's out there.
Okay.
Now, look, there's nothing out there in the league that can stop Deebo. We got to bring prime time back to try to stop Deebo. There's nothing out there that's going to stop Deebo. So I'm not even.
Prime ain't going to tackle, so how you going to stop him?
Well, he got to catch it first.
Once he get in the open,
he got to tackle. He got to catch it first.
Right. Okay.
Prime the blanket now. We don't want to go there now. So look, Deebo, even if he plays, he going to get his. It is what it is. He going to get his. We keep throwing this term around about fairy tale. Mm-hmm. Now, there's a such thing as a live happily ever after in some of these fairy tales. And I believe my Detroit Lions
all right.
is going to be living happily ever after in this fairy tale. And they're going to knock off the giant of the 49ers to get to the Super Bowl, baby. And we're going to be partying in Vegas, man. Pick the Detroit Lions to upset. This is the upset of the season to go into 49er land and beat San Francisco. Because you know what? It's going to go back to that doggone Brock Purdy that you just mentioned a few minutes ago.
Now you like it. Now you like my Brock Purdy statement. See, now you like it.
This is when he panics. This is the game that he says, what's going on? Whatever. And he panics, and he's going to do something in this game. He's going to make a couple of mistakes that's going to end up hurting him. Detroit Lions will upset and win the game.
So you go with the 49ers all year,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
You want to change the week before the NFC Championship game, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to give you this. Both offenses are mirrors of each other. You look in the mirror, if San Francisco look in the mirror, they see Detroit. Mm-hmm. When Detroit look in the mirror, you see the 49ers because you have Gibbs, you have Debo. And
we got St. Brown.
Yep. I mean, you got talent on both sides.
Yes, sir.
The question is, bad weather, good weather. I think Purdy, if good weather, I think Purdy can match Goff. I really do. I think where the biggest key come for the Detroit Lions on the defensive side, who can make the stops. And I think the 49ers can make more stops in Detroit.
Beware of Hutchinson. Beware.
Come on, Nate.
Of Hutchinson.
Okay.
Beware.
I like, believe
I know
me.
they got Bosa. I get it. Beware.
Who would you take out of those two?
Bosa.
Okay. Don't give me that B.
I ain't no fool now. I ain't no fool now.
All right. And you won't see the same thing that you saw in Tampa last week. I mean, in Detroit, when Detroit played Tampa, and when Baker Mayfield hikes the ball, Hutchins come free. Out of all the people on that defensive line, you're going to let him come free to hit your quarterback.
Yeah, that was a miss. They miscommunicated.
And that was 2 or 3 times in that game.
It's all right.
You won't see that against the 49ers. I think the biggest key right now, like I said, which defense is better? And right now I'm seeing the 49ers defense is better. I'm seeing Kansas City and the San Francisco 49ers Super Bowl.
Okay.
A rematch of 2019.
All right. I got Detroit, Baltimore, baby. Yes, sir.
Griff, what you got? I'm not sure. I hate Patrick Mahomes. He's ruined my life all these years, and he's going to continue to ruin my life. I know we got Antonio Pierce as a head coach now, but he's going to suck eventually in 2 or 3 years, and I'll be looking for somebody else.
So if y'all don't know, Griff connection lost. His Wi-Fi is shot. I think he's still in South Africa again. So
well, we know he ain't going to pick the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'm pretty safe to say that he's with me on this one.
He's picking the Ravens.
Ravens in Detroit. So we're going to find out. We'll see what happens, though, man. But there it is, man. So I Hate the Homies podcast. Continue to tell a friend to tell a friend.
You don't want to do the Cowboys? You want to end it?
So real quick, before we get up out of here, let's talk about the soap operas that's happening in Dallas with the Dallas Cowboys and CeeDee Lamb's mama and all that, everything else. So let's get into that next. All right, so go ahead, dog.
You know what? I thought the Dallas series, with JR, Cliff, Pam. Who else was in that series back in the day? Bobby.
Llewellyn.
Yeah, all of them back in the day. I thought that series was over. Dallas is bringing that soap opera back.
Hey, man.
Because after you lose to the Green Bay Packers, you got everybody heading to social media now.
So
everybody.
Everyone that's under a rock, tell them what's going on.
Okay, the Cowboys lose to, well, I don't know if you want to say lose. They got spanked.
Yes,
got embarrassed by the Green Bay Packers last week.
Right.
And you didn't really hear from the players after the game. They did their, their normal press conferences after the game, but it's what happened 5-6 days later on social media, because now you got, who's your 3 stars on this football team for the Cowboys?
CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, and, well, it depends.
Michael Parsons.
Yeah, Michael Parsons. There you go.
And believe me, those 3 stars.
Because Diggs is hurt.
Those 3 stars right there.
Right.
They had everybody speak up for them on social media.
Starting with CeeDee Lamb's mama. Yo, mama?
I think it's going to cause friction right here. So CeeDee Lamb's mother, she didn't like what happened after the game, at the game against the Packers, but she said Dak ain't it.
Just straight up called him out.
Now, is that her saying that, or is that her hearing her son say that?
I mean, according to the internet, it came out of her mama, right? I mean, her mouth, right?
It came out of her mouth, or it was on social media, but these guys talk to their family members.
Hey, man, look.
She wants him in Houston.
That's hometown.
She said, Cowboys, please trade him because I think he'll have a better career with C.J. Stroud.
Ooh, that's dirty on Dak. That's dirty on Dak.
How do you come back and play with this guy, or how can y'all be teammates?
But let's be real, man. CeeDee has had the best season of his career.
Reception-wise, I mean, yards too, but receptions. He
with
led
his
the league in
quarterback,
receptions.
Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
Dak just had the best season of his career.
Yeah.
And those were a 1-2 punch. One of the best in the league. Yes or no?
Yeah,
So
agree.
you can't really, I mean, I get it. Dak didn't win. The Cowboys lost, but you can't go that hard on Dak. The dude helped CeeDee have his best season. So, I mean, come on, man. I mean, I get it, Mom. You're frustrated. And we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. We don't know if there's something else internal that's going on in the locker room or whatever.
If he stays, you got to play with this guy, knowing that
your mama just
Dak got to know your mama don't like me, man.
Hey, I'm pretty sure Dak sent CeeDee Lamb a text message when that hit social media and say, "Hey, man, do we need to talk?" I'm sure they had a conversation.
I hope they did, man. But the soap opera doesn't stop there.
Right.
Tad Prescott, which is Prescott's brother.
Yes, sir.
He went out to social media and said this: Cowboy fans, why continue to DM me? Trust me, if I could get Dak to leave Dallas, I would. I, too, want him out of Dallas. The city and organization have been great to me and my family, but done nothing but drama and so-called fans. But he loves his team. He wants to bring rings. That's what he says.
Okay, so he's He said his opinion without throwing Dak under the bus. He didn't make it seem like Dak was saying that.
Yeah, he didn't make it seem like Dak was saying that.
So that's how if you going you can put your frustrations out about how you feel about it. But I'm glad he didn't say that. He didn't make it seem like Dak was wanting to get out. He just wants his brother to leave.
But that didn't stop there.
Yeah.
Now we go to Micah Parsons' brother. I got to go to this story. My God.
As the world turns.
Yeah. Let me see. I'm looking at my phone.
And see, this is not normal, man. It's just social media. Family's been doing this for years, even before social media. We just never knew about it. You know what I'm saying? So, it's none of this stuff surprised me or shocks me. It is what it is. It's just social media makes it so easy to express your opinion, put your thoughts out there where the whole world can see it instantly.
Okay, this is Terrence. Terrence Parsons Jr., Michael Parsons' brother.
Okay.
He's saying he's throwing everybody under the bus. He said he talked about his brother should be gone from the Cowboys.
Oh, come on.
He's blaming Dan Quinn, Mike McCarthy, and some of the players on the offensive side for what they've done with this team, and he wants his brother gone from this football team. Now, Michael Parsons came out and said his brother doesn't speak for him.
Right.
But, I mean, I'm telling you, these guys talk to their family members. These family members know what's going on behind closed doors.
I get all that, but sometimes you do got that rogue family member, like, what's his name? Patrick Mahomes' brother, who always getting in trouble.
Yeah.
You're going to always have that rogue family member that's just going to speak their mind and just say what they want to say for whatever reason. I don't see, man, if Michael Parsons somehow leaves Dallas, that's not going to happen, first of all.
That's not going to happen.
They're going to give him the doggone key to the city. They're going to give him whatever he wants when it's time when it's time to increase and extend his contract. So that ain't going to happen. So I think that's just an honest situation of a family member just expressing their thoughts and frustrations.
Okay, here's that quote from Terrence Parsons. He blames Dak Prescott and the coaches for all of it, saying that quarterback and defensive coordinator Dan Quinn should pack their bags, while calling for head coach Mike McCarthy to be replaced by, which is not going to happen now, Jim Harbaugh and Mike Vrabel.
I don't know about Vrabel.
So
he's all right.
He has a shopping list, which we know that's not going to happen now because Mike McCarthy's coming back next season.
Now, Mike McCarthy's going after next year.
Now, after next year, if they don't win, because I think it's Super Bowl bust for him.
Yeah, exactly.
But he'll get his wish. But I don't know how you play in this locker room when you got all this friction between players.
We don't know
and
if
your
it's
star players.
We don't know if it's friction between the players. It's friction between the family as of right now.
But I'm saying now you got to deal with that. I know what you're saying. Most of these guys will probably have a conversation.
Right, with each other.
And say, hey, man, they're not speaking for me. But I'm telling you, even if somebody told me that, in my back of my mind, I'm going, but why would he say it?
Once again, you got these rogue family members.
No, but I'm saying, you know how we think sometimes.
I get it. I get it.
Why would he say it? It was somebody brought that to his attention.
Right.
The way I play. Because now you got CeeDee Lamb mother saying, Dak ain't it.
Right.
This ain't our first time thinking that.
Look.
Somebody else has said that. And you said this. You even texted this while the game was going on against Green Bay. You said the chemistry between Dak
CD and Dak
was not great that day.
Right. And I was thinking that the Cowboys was overthinking the game plan and saying, okay, CD, early off, we're going to use you as a decoy because I know they're going to put 2 on you. And we're going to start working the offense trying to do other things. But I think CD was like, man, that ain't working. So
But Dak was off that day, period.
Yeah. But
for
I
the
think
first half.
Yeah, I literally think that, okay, that's the game plan, but it ain't working. And CD body was like, all right, man, start throwing me the ball. And that's when Dak started forcing the ball to CD, and it was just like, man, they couldn't get on the same page for nothing.
Now I can't wait for training camp. I'm telling you, this is a soap opera. This should be a television show. You can make money off of this. I know who was doing the hard knocks this year.
When Detroit?
No, it was
last year.
Miami.
That's right.
Miami.
They
should have Dallas on right now.
Hey, man, Dallas been on Hard Knocks like twice already.
I know, but this is more drama right here. This is easy TV.
We're going to find out, man. On that note, it's time to get up out of here. Y'all understand that the sports genius Rock Teasy for Sheezy will be a Super Bowl champion with my mighty Detroit Lions after this.
I ain't giving you that.
After this.
Because you changed your pick.
Hey, dog.
You've been going to 49ers all year long, and you're going to change the pick now.
I got a great excuse and exception right now, Jack.
So when the 49ers win, what you going to come in and say Monday?
I lost.
Or Tuesday?
I lost.
All right.
Hey, man, I don't mind. Hey, if I lose, I lose. I ain't going to make no excuse. So on that note, man, y'all go tell a friend to tell a friend. Subscribe, download. Thank you for listening to I Hate the Homies podcast. Rock Teasy is who I beezy.
It's your homie Griff. Super Dave, take it away. And it's your boy Super Dave. But guess what, y'all?
We don't care. Deuces.
I hate the homies.